Hello there, I'm Scotty, you're not. Welcome back to Dis-Cember 2023, and today I give to you a review with glorious purpose as we talk about Loki Season 1. So, back a while ago I did a massive string of 4 rankings. One for each phase, or 5 rankings. One for each phase, and then one for the TV series. I just rewatched it. I was kind of wondering where I placed this, and I put it at number 4, which is pretty high up. Hearing myself talk about the ones underneath, I do understand why I put it at number 4, but I was wondering, because I remember that I didn't put it too high. It's higher than I thought it was. I thought it was towards the bottom, and I remember watching, as I'm recording this, I have seen the first 4 episodes of Season 2. And that is really good. I'm really into that. My son and I are really into that. And I was like, why was I so down on the first season? And then I rewatched the first season and I understood why. Number 4 is Justified in my ranking. Above that are WandaVision's in there, Moon Knight, and what's the other? Not Secret Invasion, that hasn't happened yet. I'm trying to think. There was 8 TV shows, right? So if there's 8 TV shows, I know what number 1 is. I know what number 2 is. Right? And this was number 4. Okay? You're probably screaming, it's this! Just let me suss it out myself. Okay, so the number 8, the worst one, was What If. Right? And then I think it was Miss Marvel. Hawkeye is in there somewhere, but I do believe Hawkeye was number 5, right? Or was it? Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is probably number 3. I'm going to keep going. We'll put Hawkeye at number 6. Just for now, I don't know if that's exactly where it is, but now we're still missing one more. Right? In case you're trying to figure it out, I have What If, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Moon Knight. What one am I missing? I'm trying to think. Of what was... Oh, She-Hulk. Duh. Yeah, okay. She-Hulk. And Falcon and Winter Soldier was the answer I was searching for. Yeah, that would be my number 3, because that was a good one. But Season 2 would be better than Falcon and Winter Soldier for me. But I would rank that with the Phase 5 TV shows. But right now it is above Secret Invasion, but I'm going to have to watch Echo, aren't I? I want to, but I want to do the ranking. Anyway, so going back to where this all started, even before Infinity War, we knew that I think we knew at least 3 of the shows that were going to come on: What If, WandaVision, and Loki. Those are the 3 we knew about, I think. And then Loki died, and we were like, okay, I thought he was having a TV show, right? And then even at the end of that, we kind of just rolled our eyes a little bit, because we were like, okay, they killed off Black Panther and Spider-Man, who we know are going to get sequels. And then Black Panther died in real life, and then I kind of threw that sequel out of whack. It's kind of one of the reasons that I'm not really too fond of that movie, because, I don't know, I wanted to see what they could do, And what they gave to us was okay, but it just seems like it's missing something, and that something is Chadwick Boseman. I'm just saying. No disrespect to Letitia Wright, but it doesn't work for me, at least. And it's not because she's a woman. It's just that this story would work much better with the actual Black Panther. You know, an invading force coming from the deep, invading Wakanda. We need the actual ruler of Wakanda to be there. It just doesn't work. But anyway, back to Loki. Okay, so this was announced, and then Loki died, right? Okay. So what's gonna happen? Obviously, they're gonna bring characters back, but they told us Loki is dead. That Loki from Infinity War, he's dead. You know, especially with Thanos saying no more tricks or something this time. Whatever. But yeah, so that was it. What are we gonna do? And then in an Endgame, they presented us with a Loki who got away with a Tesseract. Oh, what's gonna happen? Well, nothing. Not the Tesseract, anyway. He escapes and is immediately grabbed by the Time Variance Authority, the TBA. Yeah, because, you know, Phase 4 is starting the multiverse saga. Which there's been a lot of multiverse stuff in recent years. You know. But and watching through this series, I'm mainly reminded of what didn't work for me. And there are some of those Disney Plus shows that do this, but this feels like there's an episode where Loki and his variant, I won't spoil that yet, are stuck on a planet because they escape from a place where they find the variant, they both jump through, and then Loki accidentally puts them on this planet that's about to collide with a moon and be destroyed. And they're on this planet the entire episode. We cut back to TVA here and there to do some plot threads with that, but they're on this planet the entire episode. So to me, it just sort of just sits there. It sits there for the entire episode. And I'm like, can we move forward, please? It doesn't feel like we're moving anywhere. Even when they're on a train, or space train, whatever, it doesn't feel like we're going anywhere or doing anything. This feels like a filler episode because we need to stretch it out to 6 episodes. And there's a lot of stuff in the first phase that feels like that. With both WandaVision, with WandaVision this, and even Falcon and Winter Soldier, that it seems like, you know, if this was a movie, it could have been done quicker, but we had to stretch this out to 6 episodes. Total of 5 hours without commercials, which, 5 hours, because a little over 5 hours. I started this a little after 6 o'clock this morning, and it finished at about 11:15. So, yeah, that's under 6 hours. And I even paused it a few times so I could go do my laundry, which is probably where the 15 comes from. But, no. Night issues. And you get the plot threads of something is happening, right? There's time travel involved. And when, you don't do that, that's probably why season 2 is better. There's more time travel stuff involved. And there's just higher stakes with what happens at the end of this. And just more intrigue. And you want to know more. You want to know more, but you don't know more because they just stick you. Even after they get back, right? Loki is stuck in a place with a bad memory with Sif. There's your gratuitous cameo from Jamie Alexander. But he's just getting hit over and over again. He's not doing anything. He's not going anywhere. He's just getting hit until eventually, halfway through the fucking episode, they do something with him. It feels like they're stalling. Where in season 2, they are progressively moving forward. There are story beats that are presented to us. And here, it feels like, oh, this is a story that would work for a movie. We got to stretch it out. Right? There's not even a big boss battle, which is why it feels like they said, "Oh, it was always meant for more than one season." And to me, it's like, but there are episodes in season one that they're literally made to stretch things out. We didn't need to have them trapped on a planet away from the TVA for an entire episode, because there's no need for it. Because I'm watching this episode, I'm thinking, why are we here? Why are we on this place? Why are we following them trying to get out? And it would work if it led to something, right? And like, oh, we have to get on the ship and we can sail out of here. But they don't make it in time because these guards, who shouldn't be attacking them, are attacking them for no reason. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's just, oh, we have to have someone trying to stop them. But there is no immediate, oh, hey, we got to stop you. There's nothing that triggers them to attack them. They just start attacking them. And you could say, oh, well, they were fugitives from that space train, so that's why they were going after him. Sure, but it's just the stall until we see that ship destroyed by the meteor thing from the moon. And then the episode ends. And then how do they get out of this? Their feelings for each other create a Nexus event that will create a branch timeline. After they've already explained to us that doesn't matter what you do during an apocalypse event, it will never trigger a branch. But then it does. Because they wrote themselves into a freaking corner and had to pull something out of their ass so that they can be saved. So, let me talk about, with that out of the way, let's talk about the Loki variant herself. It does take a while to reveal who it is. They reveal that it's a Loki variant. But the fact that they don't show the Loki variant in person leads you to believe that, okay, it's going to be something different. It's not just going to be Tom Hiddleston. They're doing something. And it's a female. Sophia DiSerono, whatever her name is. DiStefano. DiStanino. She's great in the role. She's a female variant Loki. Yes, this series has two Lokis fall in love with each other, but honestly, it makes sense because who does Loki love most of all? Himself. So that works, right? They also confirm that Loki is in the LGBT community. Who cares? Okay, I've said it before, I'll say it again. We don't need an abundance of these characters. Not every character needs to be this. So please stop. It seems like every time they introduce a new character, they're on the LGBT spectrum. If that's the correct terminology. They're in that community, right? And they don't need to be. Not every character needs to be that. So please stop. Why can't our characters be straight people? And not even straight white people, just straight people. Why can't they be straight? Why do they have to be on that spectrum nowadays? There could even be people who start out straight and then you turn them. Or you think they're going to be straight. And it's like, oh, but maybe, they're eyeing that, I don't know. And I get it, the actor or actress is that, but we know Tom Hiddleston's not. I don't know about her. Probably not. I think she's with a guy right now, but, but still, and they say gender fluid because you can turn into whatever, but I'm pretty sure they're locked in whatever genders they are here, especially when we see Sylvie, that's her name, her flashback to what she was, and she was taken, and even so far in season 2, I don't really think we found out why she was taken, and I feel like they need to explain that to us before the end of season 2, because apparently this is only designed for 2 seasons. I don't know, but I don't know. They never really gave us a reason, unless I missed it, as to why she was taken. She just was. And on the topic of our villain for the season, Ravonna Renslayer, who turns villain halfway through this season for no reason other than to protect the timeline, she becomes a villain. And it was funny. We're watching through season 2, and I'm like, I remember her being a villain. Obviously, I don't remember the first season very well because she most clearly was. They present these these three lizard people, as they're called, by Loki. The protectors of the timeline. They're the guardians, whatever they're called. And they're found out to be androids. Not real, right? Because obviously, if you're following along, you know that it's going to be related to Kang in some way, shape, or form. That's going to be the villain of the MCU going forward, so it's going to be related to that, right? And I already said that I have an issue with how they're handling Kang so far, because every version that shows up dies almost right away. Like in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, he shows up and you go in thinking this is going to be the Kang. This is the one that they're trying to protect the world from, right? And then he dies. People say, he didn't die, he just disappeared. Yeah? Well, you said the same thing about Wanda, and she's fucking dead. Confirmed. So he's dead too. Okay, that's my point. If there's a burst of this. Oh, he disintegrated. He's not actually dead. Disintegration is death. Okay? It is pain. It is only pain. But, yeah. And yes, they came out and confirmed that Wanda is dead in this book that is directly connected to the MCU and is official. So don't, there are people in the Facebook group that are still denying it. Because someone made a post about it, like, she's not dead. It was confirmed in the book. That's not official. It says official Marvel book. They just won't accept it. But she's dead. And so is the version of Kang from Quantumania. So, then in this version too, He Who Remains. And I'm sitting here waiting for a blue version, because I thought that was going to be the Kang in Quantumania, but it's just a helmet. There is a blue version in the post-credit scene of Quantumania, but was that Immortus or the Egyptian one? Who knows? But yeah, I don't think they really explained to us exactly what is going on completely with the TVA itself, but with Kang's backstory they do, because he's the villain. They need to explain it. When Sylvie and Loki eventually get to him, he explains that years ago there was a variant of his that found out about time, found that there was more of them. They each found out, and there were some that were not so good. And this started a multiversal war. And so He Who Remains, known only so because he was the only one left, created the TVA to stop the branched timelines from branching out. Protect the sacred timeline, stop other timelines from branching out, which is why Loki was taken, and they pruned them and they leave them at the end of time. And, it only proves how stupid it is for him to be living at the end of time, because if they're sent to the end of time, obviously they could find you. However, I think in listening to something, I think I figured out why this all happened, why this is doing this. So, well, before I get into that, let's talk about other characters here. We have Owen Wilson as Mobius M. Mobius, right? He's a counselor, whatever it is he's called, that is like talking to Loki. He becomes Loki's ally. They don't treat Loki right at first, and Loki's resisting. He's just trying to get out of here, right? And one of the things he does is he goes and he tries to find the Tesseract, and he finds a whole drawer full of Infinity Stones and starts to realize that it doesn't matter, because magic doesn't work there, so it doesn't matter. There's all those Infinity Stones, although with some stuff going on in season 2, I don't think you're ever going to explore it, though. But anyway. Yeah. And Mobius eventually becomes his ally because he starts to believe in him more. Nobody else will believe in him, but he does. And I like Owen Wilson. But for God's sake, can you give me one wow? Please? I feel like they're trolling us when they introduce the character of OB. Because when he's first introduced to Mobius, he keeps saying wow. I'm like, no, not you. I want Mobius to say it. They said it during season 1. They said that Owen Wilson is not going to say his classic wow. I want one in season 2. Or I'm going to be completely disappointed and give it a very bad review. Be probably not, but still. I'm just saying. I want one wow, Owen Wilson. Just one. Doesn't say it here. Wow. And I keep saying it. My son looks at me, rolling his eyes. I'm like, well, until he says it, I'm going to keep saying it, okay? Then I flipped out with the OB thing. But anyway. Owen Wilson is great. He has a thing with jet skis. I don't know if that'll play into season 2 or not. I don't know. But something with jet skis. He wants to go have a jet ski or something. I don't know. But upon finding the other version of Loki, known as Sylvie, he takes off with her. Like I said, there's that whole episode that doesn't do anything, go anywhere. There's character development, sure. It gets them closer together, sure. That's the only thing, but it slows everything down so much. And then Renslayer by this point becomes villain. And because we find out that all the employees of the TVA are variants that were pruned from the timeline and had their memories erased, which does connect to season 2. I'm just saying. But one thing I don't get, especially with the connection to season 2 I've watched so far, is why Renslayer is still doing all this. If her memory was erased too, which, as variants, but we found out in season 2, spoiler alert for season 2, if you're not caught up, mute this until the sock is no longer on my head, okay? But in season 2, we find out that her memory was erased after working with Kang, or He Who Remains. Her memory is erased. So, yeah, so I don't know how that connects. But there's also this character named Miss Minutes, who's like this. It's supposed to be AI, but it is very sentient. Voiced by Tara Strong. But she was kind of annoying at first, but she becomes straight up villain in season 2. I'm just saying. But she sort of has that villainous thing here when they show up at the end of time, and she's like, oh, hey, he's waiting for you, or something like that. I don't know. But my point here. So Loki gets pruned and is sent to the end of time. He meets variants of himself, a little kid version of himself, who is not coming back in any way, shape, or form in the Young Avengers movie. Let it go. I've seen these people in the Marvel group saying, oh, the Young Avengers, and posting pictures of Wanda's kids who don't really exist, so they're not going to be in it. And this Loki variant, who is a kid who is effectively dead, so he's not going to be in it. Stop pushing things that aren't on the Marvel agenda, okay? There's not going to be Young Avengers, at least not yet, and that Loki's not going to be in it. Just stop. Stop. Please. Sorry. It just bugged me how I keep seeing pictures posted in that MCU group. Oh, look, it's going to be the Young Avengers. And they got the kids. And it's like, no, that Loki's not going to be in it. No, those kids don't actually exist in our reality, so they couldn't actually be a part of a team. Now, there is multiversal stuff, but I don't know. I would think that it would have to be on Earth. I know that there's rumors that the Fantastic Four movie is going to be taking place in this, not only in the 60s, but also on another Earth. So what's the point of making it take place in the 60s then? It doesn't make sense to me. Especially since it was already set up. That it, set up in Spider-Man Homecoming. Someone else was buying Avengers Tower. We have not found out who that is yet. And it quite obviously should be Reed Richards. The Fantastic Four should buy that. But apparently, maybe that was the case, but now they've changed their mind. I don't know. They're going all over the place with a Fantastic Four movie, and I feel like just give us a straightforward Fantastic Four movie. Don't try to make it weird. Because I feel like that's the problem with the MCU is they're trying to do things a little too weird and off-centric, and people are just like, nah, I didn't like that, Like Thor: Love and Thunder. I liked it because I like weird stuff, but people were complaining, oh, it doesn't take it seriously enough. Well, Thor hasn't been serious since Infinity War, to be honest. I mean, not Infinity War, but Thor hasn't been serious since Ragnarok. And you need to kind of let that go. People were praising Ragnarok and then shit all over Thor: Love and Thunder. It's the same director. It's the same style. Why did you praise one and shit all over the other? Make up your goddamn minds. Okay? Jeez. Deodorant. Anyway, back to Loki, which we're trying to talk about here. So here we meet classic Loki, who's played by Richard E. Grant. He's pretty good in the role, albeit it's short. But he tells a story of what his Nexus event was. He faked his own death so well that even Thanos believed it. And then he hid for centuries, for years and years and years on a planet in the middle of nowhere. But then got bored. And eventually decided he was done hiding, and that's when the TVA got him. And that, something I connected with when they were talking to He Who Remains, especially when he said, I'm bored. And I went, oh, that's why they told us that story. He has been protecting this timeline for all this time. He wants to die because he is bored and he's sick of doing this. He gave them the chance to take over his place because he's also bored. So there's two options. Kill him and cause another multiversal war, or take his place so he can, I don't know, retire. Who knows? But Sylvie does kill him after Loki tries to fight her. They kiss, so Loki's making out with himself. See, it's not weird, Mom! I joke. But you ever do that thing where you go like this? You look like you're making out with someone as big as yourself. That might be weird. But that's also kind of hard to do when you're fat. But yeah, so he dies, and Loki is sent back to the TVA, only it's not the TVA he knows. And Sock coming back up, spoiler alert again, mute it. It's revealed that in season 2 that this is actually in the past, even though there was not supposed to be any past in the MCU or in the TVA. But, we can just write whatever we want, right? So Loki is stuck at the TVA, unknowing what it is because nobody recognizes him, But the timelines are branching now because Sylvie killed He Who Remains. And we get a post-credit scene that says Loki will return for season 2. So they clearly had a plan to go into season 2. Like I said, I like it so far. I'm with it. This Renslayer gets away. As far as I know, she gets away. Because Sylvie prunes herself to get to the end of time to help Loki. And then classic Loki sacrifices himself to try to stop this dragon thing. Eliath, I think it's called. Which they use magic on, because they're not in TVA, so. Yeah. But the one question you have is, when they first go to that place in 20 whatever, and Loki is free of magic, right? Why doesn't he, or free of the anti-magic spell, why doesn't he and go, because he's curious, right? He's curious about who this other Loki is. So my nose itches. And yeah. So overall, season 1 of Loki is good. I think it's worthy of still being number 4 after rewatching it again. It's not going to go down. But I do feel that season 2 is better, what we got so far. But yeah, Tom Hiddleston is great, of course, as always. Oh, by the way, we also find out he was D.B. Cooper, which, because I'm a massive fan of Without a Paddle, made me smile. Right? My son didn't know who that was, but, it's still kind of funny. But again, the trailers were lined with this stuff, thinking we're going to go all over the place with this. But it's just a flashback that we see with the D.B. Cooper stuff. And then they show the other Loki going like this. And that's just in the end of time. So they just threw things in there to get your attention. Marvel trailers live, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it works. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Loki Season 1? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I give you a hint as to the next review, but I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing next. I haven't decided yet. But I'll figure it out. These are the two that I knew I was doing next, so I set up the hints, but I really don't know after that. I'll figure it out. I'll probably record it sometime today anyway, but I'll figure it out. Until then, thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.